he is. Yeah, get the net. Net. Yep. God, I can't. Oh my God, he's big. This one right here. Hey Jeff, turn the net camera. That's fine, dude. Turn the net inside out. He ain't that well yet. He's pretty good.
See him open. Nice. Beautiful bait.
Freaking largemouth, dude. What's up guys, it's Alex with Alex River Fishing and Lucky Tackle Box, and today I want to talk to you about the Bagley Balsa Shad that you guys are going to be receiving in this month's Lucky Tackle Box. So let's get right into this video and talk about rigging, retrieval, and location. Alright guys, so let's talk about rigging. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a snap to this bait. So what that's going to do is it's going to give this bait a lot more range of motion. That way you don't have to tune the bait as much. It's going to run a lot truer. And then number two, when you hook up with a fish, it's not going to give the bass as much leverage on you. That way you can get a lot more fish into the boat or into the bank. The next thing is the line. I'm going to fish this on 8 to 10 pound copolymer or fluorocarbon. The reason for that is that smaller diameter line is going to help that bait to reach its maximum diving depth and stay in the strike zone a lot longer. And then for the rod, you can either fish this thing on a spinning rod or a casting rod. Me personally, I like fishing it on a casting rod. I'm gonna go with a 7-foot medium. That lighter, shorter rod is gonna help me to throw this bait a lot easier and fish it a lot more efficiently. And then I'm gonna pair that up with like a 6:3:1 gear ratio reel. That little bit slower reel just allows me to get that bait down in the strike zone and work it really slow, bounce it off all the rocks and all the things that are down there on the bottom that I'm gonna be focusing on. All right guys, so let's talk about retrieval. Really, this bait is pretty simple to retrieve. I'm just gonna cast it out there and I'm just gonna give it a steady retrieve back. And what that's gonna allow this bait to do is get down to its maximum diving depth, and then once it gets there, it's gonna have a chance to just bang off all the structures down there. All the rocks, lay downs, stumps, those kinds of things. So this bank that I'm fishing has got all those kinds of different things. And so when I retrieve it back like that, it's just allowing it to really eat into those things, give those bass a chance to really look at it and get a bite. Another thing about this bait is you can kind of do a stop and go retrieve. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna give that bait a chance to float up. So this bait is made out of balsa wood, and balsa wood is extremely buoyant. So when you stop that bait, it's gonna just float right back up to the top, and as soon as you start reeling it again, it may just elicit a reaction bite, especially if a fish is following it. If it pauses, the bass can get a good look at it, and then once it darts off again, a bass is going to react out of instinct, and you'll get a lot of bites that way. That balsa wood is also going to do another thing for you. Like I said, I'm fishing a lot of rocks, stumps, laydowns, those kinds of things. So when I'm working it through or over some rocks or a stump or something like that, if I feel myself start to get hung up or it starts to kind of lock down, if I just quit reeling, that bait's going to float back up, and it's going to allow you to fish that kind of structure a lot more efficiently. So when it pauses, you're going to let it float back up and then just slowly retrieve it. A lot of times you can work it over those rocks, those laydowns and things like that without getting it hung up. And also, if there's bass hanging out around that stuff, just like I said, when that bait floats back up and darts back off, a lot of times the bass are going to react to it. So for location, I'm going to do a little something different. I'm actually going to put you guys in a point of view mode so you guys can see exactly what I'm fishing as I fish it. And there's really 3 things that I look for while I'm fishing a bait like this, especially this time of year, pre-spawn into the spawn, is primary points, secondary points, and wind-blown banks. And what these are going to do, so your primary points are the places that the fish pull up to first after they come out of their wintering holes. Your secondary points are what I kind of call their pit stops. They're going to stop there before they transition the rest of the way back into a pocket, a shallow flat or a pocket before they feed. And then the wind is going to help position those fish. So when you're fishing a reaction style bait like this, wind is usually your friend. And when wind is blowing on those primary and secondary points, it's going to position those fish fish. The reason those fish position is because they get up there to feed. They're going to feed on crawdads and bait fish like this little balsa shad represents. So as you guys can see, this bank I'm fishing down is a lot like the bank I was fishing down when I went over Retrieval. It's about a 45-degree angle bank. It's got some laydown, some underwater rocks that you can't see, and then it has a primary point and a secondary point. So let's go over overhead view. We'll give you an aerial view of what I'm looking at. As you guys can see here, here's the primary point. I've already fished past this primary point and I'm heading to the secondary point. So let's drop back down. As you guys can see, as I approach this secondary point, I'm throwing at it, just kind of paralleling the bank, probably a good cast and a half off the bank. And as I throw to this secondary point, the backside of this secondary point, the wind's blowing into it, and this smallmouth I'm about to catch was just positioned up there eating. As we go on around that secondary point, it actually opens up into a big shallow pocket, and that would be a place that smallmouth is going to move up once the weather and the water temperatures get to where it wants it, that it's going to go back in there, it's going to make a bed, it's going to spawn. So that's really all I'm looking for when it comes to location. I'm just looking for those places that those fish are going to position as they come from deep water and move shallower and shallower, following the weather, following the sunlight, and getting ready to spawn. So guys, if you got any questions or comments about anything that was mentioned in this video, make sure and go leave them in the comment section down below. I'll be down there answering questions. And make sure to go subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Alex Red Fishing. But as always guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.